Live from America's heartland, this is the Daily Truth Report with your host, Noah Christopher.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Truth Report. This is actually our second show of the day. We had Bo Polney on earlier talking about crypto, and crypto is so hot right now. I've got a returning guest back on with us tonight, Jim Bazzani from Caleb and Brown. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on again, Noah, and looking forward to being here.
Yeah, it's just red hot right now, and so we thought the timing was perfect to have you back on. I mean, I'm looking at the markets right now. $111,500 Bitcoin is what we're at right now, which is just incredible. And we'll talk about all that tonight. I want to talk a little bit about what you guys do over at Caleb and Brown. I had you on about 2 weeks ago, and since then we have had literally hundreds upon hundreds of people sign up and enroll with your company. It's totally free to sign up. So I'm not here to sell anybody anything tonight. I'm not trying to get you to write a check or pay any money. It's totally free to get an account set up. But we've had so many people do that, and I've gotten tons of emails from people saying this is exactly what I've been looking for. Thank you. I've been wanting to get into crypto, and I finally have something that makes sense. So we'll talk about all that tonight, but I just wanted to say congratulations to the several hundred of people that have already joined up. And if that's not you yet, we'll talk about why tonight might be the right move. So, well, Jim, it's just been a wild day. I've been watching this all day long. Maybe we can just talk about the market in general first. You guys have a whole research department over there. You're keyed into some of the best research in crypto and seeing what people are saying. And what are you guys seeing? We're in a breakout. It's uncharted territory. It's blue skies. It's price discovery. What are you guys seeing comes next for this market?
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It's definitely price discovery for Bitcoin. As you mentioned, it's around 111K right now. So it's just testing upon that all-time high rate that we had maybe the 2 or 3 months ago. We've been pretty steady since then, but it's an exciting time to be in crypto. Certainly, I think what we're seeing on our end is that the macroeconomic conditions are playing favorably again. The concerns around recession, concerns around tariffs and the impact on the global economy are starting to welter. And I think that's now leading to more of an appetite for risk on assets like Bitcoin, like the altcoins as well. Naturally, we're still seeing Bitcoin really lead the way when it comes to performance within the crypto sector. Usually around a bull market, you'll have Bitcoin will be the one that will perform. And then after a period of time, that performance will then filter down into the altcoin space. We haven't seen that yet. Most altcoins are still underperforming relative to Bitcoin, but we still could be really early days in what is hopefully a more of a bull market that we've seen in other cycles. I would say this one is quite different in terms of the performance of it so far. But certainly what we're seeing internally is that, adoption for crypto, institutional support for it has never been better. We just saw a couple of weeks ago that now New Hampshire and Arizona, the first two states to enact a bill that allows them to strategically hold Bitcoin as part of their reserves. So we're seeing governmental support that we've never seen before, which means that when there's more support from the government, it means more institutions are comfortable to actually probe around and explore this asset class. And we're seeing more and more institutions with the ETF adoption now start to invest more and more in Bitcoin as part of their balance sheet, which means that when there are periods of what I would say, better times within the economy, we can really start to see movement in assets like Bitcoin, like Ethereum in the positive direction. Now, none of us have a crystal ball in terms of how far this could go, but certainly once Bitcoin's in a price discovery mode like it's in right now, there are instances where it really does start to skyrocket. So that's not financial advice or anything, but it's a very interesting time. And you mentioned that you're checking the charts sort of every couple of hours. We're all doing the same here because it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks. I know that Trump's probably speaking actually right now at a Bitcoin conference with people that hold Trump coin. So we're just living in a different world where crypto is now actually supported at an institutional level, and we're starting to see price performance dictate that.
Yeah, boy, that's all so true. Hey, I should have mentioned even before I jumped into this, we are truly live right now. So if you're watching us, we should be live on YouTube. We should be live on X, and we should be live on Rumble. We're having some trouble earlier today with X. I think it's been spotty for everybody today. But if you're watching this, drop me a comment. Let me know if we're coming through okay. And then we'll also take questions if you have any. We'll make this interactive if you want to. So drop a question wherever you're watching, and I'll try my best to work those in, or we'll answer them along the way. And if you would, one more request, please like and share this wherever you're watching from. It really does help tell the social media algorithms to push this out, and then more people get to see it and you don't miss us. So appreciate that. And I'll watch for your questions as we go. But I've got a few of my own here. Jim, you mentioned, the altcoins, which would be, I guess, anything other than Bitcoin, right? That's what they mean by that. The altcoins haven't really taken off yet, but that's normal. Usually, Bitcoin goes first and they go next. I was talking earlier, and it was so interesting to put it in perspective. I'd like to get your thoughts on this. When I first started talking about crypto on this channel, is probably 2020. And Bitcoin, I think, was about $3,000. And we were looking back on that today, and we said, isn't it so funny? When we started talking about it, Bitcoin was $3,000. Today, it moved $3,000. Crazy. It was about 108,000 earlier today, and now it's at 111. And just putting that in perspective, I think no one has a crystal ball, but I think there's going to be a time where we look back and we say, oh, I remember when XRP was trading at $2 and now it moves $2 a day. What do you think? Is that within, no one's saying it's going to happen next week, but is that within the realm of possibility at some point that it starts doing that?
XRP specifically, you can't really rule it out, right? Because this is a crypto space. Anything's possible. I do certainly think if you look at XRP and even the Ripple Labs company in general and everything that they're doing within this space, there's certainly a lot of activity. So I'm sure you would have seen that report the other day that Ripple Labs is looking to potentially acquire Circle. They're in a bit of a bidding war right now. That's really interesting, right? Because they've clearly seen that the stablecoin space is a valuable use case. It's probably one of the clear use cases within crypto. And they've decided that, look, if we can generate and become the second largest stablecoin provider, that will just uplift everything within its operations, including XRP. I think we're starting to see continued adoption of XRP alongside all of their other focuses. So XRP has been around for a long time, which is a big benefit for it. It has legitimacy in this space. It's been around, which will help it not only in the adoption of it from people outside of crypto that are coming in for the first time, but also its functionality within the institutional world. So we saw just recently CME launched a futures market for XRP. That usually precedes an ETF. So as I mentioned before, once institutions are able to start acquiring these assets, it provides more legitimacy to it. And it also means there becomes more of a chance of a supply crunch, right? So XRP has that validity in the market. It's backed. It's been around for a long period of time. So if we start to see more and more institutional adoption through things like an ETF, through the futures market just got launched, there's certainly a capability for it to appreciate over a period of time. I'm never going to be in the prediction market in terms of what that would look like. But certainly what's it at right now? Maybe 250.
Yeah.
There's a chance that can continue to run. And it'll be off the back of the Bitcoin performance like we've seen in previous bull runs, where, as you mentioned, the value gets filtered down to altcoins like XRP. There's a lot of potential there, and a lot of our clients think the same. XRP is our largest held asset within the business. So we have a lot of conviction in it, but it'll be interesting to see how it does, not only in this bull cycle, but its plans moving forward and its ability to get used, within the real world.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. And you mentioned, so Ripple, the company, Ripple Labs, possibly acquiring Circle, which is the issuer of the stablecoin USDC, one of the biggest. And of course, Ripple has its own stablecoin, RLUSD, and I think they either have or will have versions of that for other currencies, right? So like RLEUR for the euro and so forth. But these stable coins, it wasn't clear to me early on, and I still don't know if I have the full picture, but I'm really starting to get a much better picture of this, that these stable coins are very important to the world economy, to the US dollar. And I'm starting to understand that now, because at first you thought, okay, well, this is just a digital dollar. It's a digital representation of a dollar. Fine. It's on a computer. Big deal, but that's not really it. What they do with these stable coins is they create them, but then they have to have them fully backed either by cash or cash equivalents, which means US treasuries. And so in this crazy world we're in of geopolitical chaos and tariffs and trade wars and all this stuff, instead of relying on China to buy our US treasuries, these stablecoin issuers are already starting to buy more treasuries than some countries out there. So I guess I bring all that up to say, I initially thought, oh, maybe governments are going to ban crypto, or it's just the next pet rock or the next tulip mania. But this actually runs really deep into shoring up the financial markets worldwide. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but that idea has just been hitting me recently, and it's making me realize this thing is way bigger than I think most people realized.
You're 100% right. And one of the interesting things about stablecoin, just as like a general use case within crypto to begin with, is that we've seen that there's a really great graph that came out the other day where it shows trading activity. And as you can imagine, 2021 was high, it then dipped, and now it's risen again, but it's dipped a little as well. But it's overlaid by a graph of stablecoin adoption and usage, and that has just continued to grow regardless of market conditions. So it's one of the few use cases in crypto that's actually bear proof and has continued to grow, even in periods where people aren't trading as much in the crypto space. And you're exactly right that, look, a lot of the ways in which these stable coins are actually pegged one for one is that they're buying government bonds. They're buying necessary assets. They're requiring them to actually provide that value as part of the stable coin usage. One thing that's really interesting is that USDC is obviously far more regulated than USDT. So Tether, which is the company that looks after USDT, which might have you is probably 2 or 3 times the market cap of USDC. They're based in El Salvador. They don't have the necessary regulation to work within the US currently. But something that has been proposed is that, okay, well, why can't Tether actually buy US debt, be a large purchaser of US debt, and through that actually provide the necessary audits and regulation to actually operate within the US moving forward? Mm-hmm. So you're exactly right in the sense that it'll allow governments like the US to issue their debt out to these entities, and they're purely based on its usage. People are using stablecoins to facilitate transactions globally. Institutions are starting to use them now instead of fiat. So the demand is there, and in order for them to peg one for one, they need to purchase assets to actually store that value. And you can see where they can really start to become really large businesses, not only crypto, but globally. I think USDT has maybe 15 to 20 employees, but the revenue of the business per employee is like some of the largest within the world. Yeah. So right now it's a 2-horse race. USDC and USDT are the largest stablecoins by far. And given the network effects surrounding them, it's a little hard to see participants like RLUSD actually getting to the level of market cap they're at. I think USDC is at a 60 bill or trill market cap right now. Yeah. So it's a huge use case that will only continue to grow.
Well, and I have a theory. I guess I can't prove it, but in President Trump's first term, he was very anti-crypto, and because I think he viewed Bitcoin obviously as a competitor to the U.S. dollar. That all flipped, and you could say it was just just to win an election or get more votes. I don't think that was it. I think he saw how these stable coins are going to prop up the U.S. dollar, and in order to USDT, USDC, RLUSD, all these issuers have to buy U.S. treasuries, and that leads to a very, very strong dollar, and it also decouples us from places like China and other places that used to be our biggest buyer of U.S. treasuries. And there's always the threat that if you don't play nice with China, they're going to dump your treasuries and crash your dollar and crash your market. I think he saw a way to get out of that. And I think he saw crypto, but really the stable coins that underpin crypto as a way to actually prop up the dollar. And I think that's why he flipped and now he's pro crypto.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got USD1 now, which is his own stable coin through obviously Liberty Wealth Financial. But USD1 has had crazy adoption. It's been around for not even that long. I think it got introduced sometime early last year. So stablecoins are not going anywhere. As I mentioned, there's two key players right now, but there'll be more and more competition to sort of take a lot of that market share from Tether and USDC. But as I mentioned at the start, you're exactly right. Look, we have a pro-crypto government now, which means that more developers, more innovation, more funding will continue to come to this space. So stablecoins are probably the top tier use case right now, but I'm really excited to see what else is going to get built on top of the blockchain. What else would be a clear winner in terms of a use case within crypto? And the fact that they'll have the regulatory support behind it now, it makes the
Oh, Jim, I think I lost you. Let me see if it's on my end or yours. Hang on. Everybody sit tight. I think we're still connected. Hang on. Let me see if I can get him to pop back in. Sit tight, everybody. All right. Everybody, hang on one second. Everybody, hang on one second. Okay. I think we're still connected. Everybody sit tight. Jim's going to bop back in here 1 minute. I think he just lost connection. We'll try and get him back on the show here and continue because I have a couple other things I want to talk to him about. I'll do a quick price check here in the meantime. Okay. Bitcoin sitting at 111,643. All-time high, as far as I can tell. Hey, there he is back. Is all-time high earlier today was 111,995, I think I saw. So, Jim, we lost you, but we got you back on now.
technical difficulties. That's the beauty of live streams. Unfortunately, my internet just cut out, but we're back.
Hey, no problem. And I think everyone's still with us, so it's all good. Well, listen, we were talking about stable coins and Trump won, and I don't know how I missed it, but I didn't realize that he had launched one himself. So that you're breaking news to me tonight. I guess I've been so focused on some of the other ones, I didn't really realize that Trump Liberty or Liberty Financial had launched that. That's interesting.
Yeah, USD1, I think it's called.
Wow.
It's through Liberty Financial Partners, but obviously Trump himself is very much involved in that entity. So I wouldn't say it's not like Trump coin or something that's specific and individualistic to him, but obviously it's through World Liberty Financial, and it's surprisingly, as I mentioned, the adoption of it has been very, very strong. As I mentioned, stablecoins are difficult to get adoption in just because of the network effects surrounding it.
Right.
But I think that will continue to grow. And what that means as well, right, is that, look, he's only going to, I'm not sure if you've heard about a Genius Act that's currently in the works in terms of getting enacted, but any stablecoin regulation that comes out of that, you would imagine is beneficial for USD1 and probably USDC as well, which is really great in terms of getting regular clarity on how businesses can actually use stablecoins within their daily operations.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's cleared the Senate. I hope it clears the House, and then I have no doubt Trump will sign it. So that'd be great. You know, that could really lead to, I think USDC would be very compliant. Obviously, I would expect Trump's USD1 to be compliant, and then I think RLUSD is also highly compliant. The team at Ripple, and that you might see a shift then, because I don't think Tether is. So I think you might really see a shift from Tether to the other three, which would be fascinating. And yeah, I think that's coming soon.
Sorry. Yeah, and the other thing that I just wanted to mention, Noah, is that it will hopefully lead to more transparency when it comes to, okay, what are the underlying assets that these businesses are
Yes.
holding in terms of being able to peg to the one-for-one US dollar, which is ultimately what we want. Back in the day, USDT had a bit of flack from the community because they were doing audits, but it was very limited audits. It wasn't going through all the assets, all the treasuries they own. So ultimately, as a user and consumer of these stablecoins, we want as much transparency as possible to ensure that if I'm going to hold a lot of USDC or USDT, that it's actually pegged one for one legitimately. I mean, that my assets are protected and that there's no real risk of depegging in the future. So I hope more legislation like that will actually require these businesses to do full audits on the assets they're actually holding.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say back in the day, but I still don't think, even as we sit here today, I don't think we fully know everything that USDT owns they claim is backing that stable coin. I think it's still a little murky.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I've had up on the screen, Jim, a couple different graphics at the top, focused on what you guys do at Caleb and Brown, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit because, like I said, I've been aware of you guys for a long time. Your company's been around since 2016. I've probably been watching you since 2017, 2018. And you guys have just done incredible things. You just to put it in perspective, you're active in over 100 countries around the world. I don't know what the current number is, but I think at least over 36,000 customers and growing fast. And you guys just doing great stuff. But and I put this at the top here because to me, what you guys provide, it's crypto the safe way. There's so much in crypto that is not safe and confusing. It's, secured, insured, regulated. You guys are highly, highly regulated. And so I've just put at the top of the screen, I've got a couple different links that people can go to. You can go to noahscrypto.com, no apostrophe or anything in that, just noahscrypto.com. That'll take you to my website where I've put all the information about you guys. I've put your 5-star rating. I've put customer reviews. I've put the things to me that are exciting about what you do. So people can go there if they'd like more information, or if they'd like to go directly to your website. I've created safewithnoah.com. That's at the top of the screen, SAFE, because I believe safety is like the number one important thing with crypto. If you're not doing it safe, the rest of it doesn't matter, whether you get the timing right on buying and selling. So safewithnoah.com will take people directly to my page with you guys. Let me throw that up on the screen here really quick. There we go. So if you want to go over there, if you're interested in signing up, it'll safewithnoah.com will take you to this page. You'll see my name at the top. You'll see Caleb and Brown. You'll see my logo there for WLT Report. That's how you know that you're in the right spot. If you see something that doesn't look like this, you did something wrong. So make sure you get on this page, and then you can use this sign up today button to do that. We'll talk in a minute about maybe why you want to do that and get your foot in the door. But maybe, Jim, like I said, we've had hundreds and hundreds of people sign up just in the last 2 weeks since I first started telling people about you. So I know a lot of people have done it already, but I'm sure we have people listening to this that don't know anything about you. Maybe they know about crypto. They've heard about it. Certainly, we've all heard about it the last 10 years. And, maybe they have that feeling like, I know I should get into this, but I just don't know how. It's so intimidating and so confusing, and I don't want to make mistakes, and I don't want to do something wrong and lose all my money, or I wouldn't even know who to call. Maybe back up a step, Jim, and just tell me about your company. I talk about you a lot, but maybe people can hear it in your own words. What is it that you guys do that's different than everybody else? And what would people expect if they wanted to work with you guys?
Yeah, so thank you for that introduction. And there's a lot of difference in, as Noah mentioned, head noise when it comes to how to invest in crypto. How you've probably heard about it before is that people tell you to go on an exchange, create an account there, and then once you create an account, buy whatever crypto you want. But we believe people need more guidance when it comes to investing in crypto in terms of the assets they purchase, how to custody those assets safely. and a lot of the time you're fending for yourself. There's no one on the other end to assist you. These exchanges can be difficult to use if you've never bought crypto before. There's a lot of intricacies around wallet addresses. Where do I store my assets? And we really try and help alleviate all those concerns, and we do it in a customer service obsessed way. So we provide a personalized white glove service to a space that is inherently quite transactional, and there's no real customer support on the other end. And we do so through a brokerage model. So most people that are listening to me speak have probably heard or have used maybe a broker before through their share portfolio. It's exactly the same mantra and approach. So everyone that works with us gets their own dedicated broker. That broker is there to assist you throughout your entire crypto journey with us. So if you're someone that's completely new to crypto, you need a good understanding of what is this space, what are the main assets to focus on, how do I get started, what should my portfolio weighting look like, what are the key events and information they should stay on top of. We assist with all of that. So we not only are a service and a place for you to safely buy crypto, but we also really emphasize educating our clients as well, ensuring they're as informed as possible about their portfolio, about the crypto asset class in general, how to exit, how to enter the market. All of these things are quite different compared to the share and equity space. So having someone there that is your go-to resource, that knows you for you, knows what your risk profile is like, understands what you're interested in terms of getting out of this space, is really valuable. So that's really the best way to describe it. As Noah mentioned, it's completely free to make an account and speak to a broker. So you don't need to commit any capital up front. You can speak to a broker and see if you'd like to invest through us. We also offer a really great, that's as is on the banner right now, a custody solution. So if you're not comfortable buying your own little hardware wallet and storing your crypto yourself, you can leverage our institutional grade custody solution, which is really valuable. It gives you peace of mind that, okay, I made the difficult decision to invest in an asset, but now I can safely store it with Calvin Brown as well. And it's accessible to me whenever I need it. So that's a really valuable aspect of our service. But think of it like a personalized institutional grade service that we try and make accessible to all.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, and you know, for people listening, you know, maybe you've. My guess is there's a lot of people listening that have heard about crypto and sat down one day to say, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to buy some crypto, and you quickly realize there's really about two ways to do it. One, you can sign up with one of these exchanges, you know, like Coinbase is probably the biggest that everybody's heard of. And then you go log on there and you buy it and you hope that they hold it safely for you. The problem with that is two things. One, you can never get anybody on the phone. And if you have a problem, and people have a lot of problems, there's just no support. I mean, you can open a ticket and they won't get back to you. I mean, you can just go online and search for horror stories. People constantly having trouble with support and account issues. So that's one problem. The other problem is, you know, I hope Coinbase is safe. I hope whatever exchange I pick is safe. But there's a lot of people that picked FTX and it went bankrupt. There's a lot of people that picked Celsius and it went bankrupt. There's a lot of people that picked Mt. Gox and it went bankrupt. And so, with these exchanges, and you're trusting these exchanges to hold your funds, I've never slept really well knowing that my funds are over there. So that's one option. And the other option is you get this thing that looks like a keychain. They call it like a cold storage wallet, or a Ledger Nano is one of the big brands. There's other ones, and you somehow load all your crypto onto this thing, and then you take it and you put it somewhere safe, and you hope you don't lose it, or you put it in a safe that you have in your house, or a safe deposit at the bank. And then you just hope in the future that it's going to power on and work and all your crypto is going to be there. That's made me even less comfortable than working with the exchanges. So those have been your two options until now. And if you wanted to, I never worried my whole life. If I call my stockbroker, I've never worried that my stockbroker is just going to go out of business and all my stocks are going to vanish overnight. That's never happened. And I've also never had trouble getting my stockbroker on the phone. I just call him up and talk to him. And so you guys, that's what, when I see what you guys are doing, you solve all of those problems. I get a broker that I get to talk to. It's the same broker, by the way, so they get to know me and they know what I look like, what I sound like. They know my preferences. I get to know the broker, vice versa, and they know that, hey, unless I'm talking to Noah and seeing Noah, then I'm not talking to the right person, and vice versa. So really great stuff. That's the first thing that I just love about what you guys do, is just bringing that personal touch, and it's stunning that no one else has successfully done that, but you guys are clearly the leader, or if not the only company doing that. And so I just think that's fantastic. And then the idea that if I do purchase crypto with you, you lock it away in what's called institutional grade custody. It's the same thing all the big boys have when they buy crypto. It's safe. It's not going anywhere. Multiple layers of security. It's not going to get hacked. It can't get hacked because there's so many different layers of security. So to me, those two things together are just total game changer. And I love that. And I think that's why so many people are signing up and coming over to you guys. So keep doing what you're doing. You guys are clearly paving the way and doing great work over there.
No, I much appreciated, and you really hit the nail on the head when it comes to what our main focus is. It's about building long-term sustainable relationships with our clients and ensuring that they get the best results possible when it comes to investing in this asset class, because there is so much noise. It's inherently more volatile than the share market, but actually having someone, as you mentioned, to speak to in the best parts of the market, but also when the market isn't doing so well. So you stay as informed and up to date as what's happening in the crypto space is really valuable. And I can speak from experience. Like, we have so many clients that have been with us for 5, 6, 7 years. They've had the same broker throughout that entire time. And they've built not only a really strong working relationship, but almost like a personal one as well. So it's the comfort level of knowing that there's always someone there to go to about your portfolio, about what's happening in the market. When it comes time to maybe exit the market and sell out of your winnings, we will make sure that process is seamless for you. As you mentioned, unfortunately, this space is full of bad actors and scammers. People lose access to their email. They get their SIM card swapped. A lot of the time they'll get hacked, but their assets are protected with us because we already know who that client is. So if someone calls up pretending to be that client, that's immediate red flags. We have security protocols in place to ensure that if your email is hacked, that will filter in through our security protocols to ensure that gets flagged. So we have a whole bunch of security measures in place to ensure that client assets are protected. As you mentioned, we don't do anything with client assets except store them in cold storage. So as you've noticed, if you've had a play around on our website, we don't charge anything for custody. We don't earn yield on your assets. We aren't moving them around and getting them exposed to other third parties. They literally just sit there in cold storage until you decide to make a trade. If you decide that, okay, I'm not really sure about that, I still want to do my custody myself, then that's totally fine. We've helped a lot of clients set up their own ledger about the education piece, especially when it comes to custody. I think custody is the most important part. Wealth preservation is the most important part. So we're here. We provide our service to, as you mentioned, over 100 countries. We're operationally mature now that we handle loads throughout the peak bull markets where we've seen other exchanges have incurred downtime. We've never suffered from that. And the benefit of our service is, if for whatever reason our portal did go down, hey, you have your broker's number and their email, so you can always still get a trade executed. So, but certainly it's a service that's starting to resonate more and more, especially with our US clients. When we're putting more and more of our focus to ensure that our top tier service.
Yep, there we go. We lost you for a second. I think you're back. No, that's really great. I have lived through those moments when the market heats up and suddenly you can't log into your Coinbase account because it's down. I've lived through that multiple times. Even Uphold a few times has gone down, and you're so excited. Oh, crypto's up, and you can't even log in and do anything with it. So that is very real, and I speak from experience on that. So I love that idea of being able to. Well, number one, your portal hasn't gone down, so I could just log in. But even if it did, I can just call someone and say, hey, Andrew, place my trade. I'm ready to go. So I love that. Well, Jim, I want to wrap up by speaking to two groups of people out there. The first is the people who, like I said, we've had hundreds and hundreds of people sign up already just in the last 2 weeks. They get it. They see the value in this, and it's free. So they're signing up. I always say, get your foot in the door, get your account created. So a lot of you have, but I know there's a lot of people listening that haven't yet, and you're hearing me and you said, I know, when I heard you last week, I need to, and I just haven't done it yet. I want to speak to that group first. Get your account created over at Caleb and Brown. Go to my link, safewithnoah.com. It's going to take you right there. And just get it set up. It's totally free. But get all the stuff, fill out all the, it's easy. It took me maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But do it, get it done. And I said last time we were on that, hey, I don't know, just do the math. These guys have 36,000 customers and each one gets a personal broker. So at some point, and obviously each broker has more than one client, but at some point there's a backlog here, especially if this thing gets even more popular than it already is here in the United States. And there's a backlog or a wait list and they can't get through everybody. And, Jim told me offline that, yeah, that's true. That's actually happened to us before. We hope that's not going to happen again right now. Never any trading issues, but a backlog and signing up new customers, because you got to make sure each new customer gets that top level of service. And with all the personal touches and the personal broker, that takes a lot of work. So what I would say is get your foot in the door, get your account created, get assigned your broker, and have a conversation with him or her, whoever you get. Talk to them, see, get a feel for it. It's totally free to set up the account. It's even free to have that conversation with your broker. There are no hidden fees with these guys. I wouldn't feel comfortable sending you to a place that was going to nickel and dime you and hit you with fees that you weren't expecting. There's no fees for any of that stuff, except for the only fee is when you actually buy or sell something. And then there's a straightforward fee when you buy and sell, and that's it. Everything else is included. The institutional grade custody is included. Talking to your broker is included. Emailing your broker is included. So to anyone hearing my voice that has not yet created an account, I would really encourage you to do that. Something in my gut just tells me there's going to be a flood, especially with Bitcoin now setting new all-time highs. There's going to be a flood of people signing up for this, and don't get stuck on a wait list. Get your account created, get assigned a broker, and get your foot in the door. So that's group number one. Group number two, I want to speak to those hundreds and hundreds of people that have signed up, because I've lived through this too. When the market really starts to take off, you want to have some funds available and ready to go. So if you've created your account and got your broker and talked to your broker, that's great, but transfer a little bit of money in. Make sure you're ready when Bitcoin starts taking off and you say, I'd like to buy some. Or, yeah, you know what? I do think XRP is cheap at $2.50, and I'd like to buy some before it goes to $10 or whatever. Start, dip your toe in a little bit. Use the system. Everybody that's used it so far, I've heard amazing feedback. I haven't heard anything bad from anybody. But use it. Place a trade with your broker. Place a trade on the online portal. See what you think of it. Find out, how easy it is. And then send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Noah@dailynoah.com. Shoot me an email and let me know how it goes. I love hearing, what you think and what your experience is. I've had a couple people that have had technical issues. I think, it's probably on their end, but Caleb and Brown jumped right in, helped him out, got it solved. And they sent me an email later on. They said, I had this issue, but they fixed it and now I'm running. So anyway, I would encourage you, if you haven't created the account, do it. Don't get stuck on the wait list. Don't send me your emails if you get stuck on the wait list. I don't want to hear it. And then if you have the account, play around with it and just test it out and, see if what I'm telling you is true. So there you go. Well, Jim, I think I'll give you the last word, but we'll have you back on at some point. I know you're headed out to, are you going, there's Bitcoin Las Vegas, big crypto conference, and then there's XRP Las Vegas. Are you heading to one or both of those?
Yes, I'll be heading to XRP Vegas. Caleb Brown will actually be sponsoring the event. So if you're planning on attending, please come by the Caleb Brown booth. You'll see me there. It'll be great to meet anyone that's listening to this video. I'll probably attend the Bitcoin conference potentially. Just depends on my timings in terms of when I get into Vegas. But yeah, I'll be heading to the US soon to meet clients, meet some of our partners. That's some of the best parts about this job, is actually getting to meet a lot of our clients face to face. So I'll be within the US soon. In terms of, final messages on my end, I think you nailed it. If you're someone that has maybe gone through the sign up phase but hasn't verified your account, I would recommend just getting it done. And as Noah mentioned, just being ready for when you want to enter the market. Bitcoin's just hit an all-time high, but who knows where it could be in a couple of weeks, right? And you don't want to be in that scenario where you want to get invested, but unfortunately you haven't set up your account properly and it takes you a couple more days, because this market moves really quickly. You want to act when you're ready to act. So would highly recommend getting that account sorted. As Noah mentioned, it's free of charge, so there's no requirement on your end other than just the time it takes to sign up, to speak to a broker, see what the service is like, but be ready and armed to go, because in periods of high demand like we're currently seeing, it does take our onboarding time longer and longer to onboard new clients, just simply because of all the checks that we have to do as a business. So if your account is ready and you're ready to go, you can really enter the market whenever you need, at the click of a finger. So I highly recommend signing up. But as Noah mentioned, I'll be on this show again and we'll chat about more things crypto and Calvin around the future.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. We'll have you back on soon. Good luck in Vegas. Have fun at the conference. I wish I was going, but I can't go this year. But maybe I'll see you and a bunch of other people next year. And maybe we'll have a big old party out there and celebrate the prices. So have a great time. Thanks for coming on. And everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the next one.